Well, everybody, we should be back. We have one last match today, and I can promise you it might be a doozy. I can promise you it might be. I have no idea. Well, we're gonna find out in a little bit. So, Crappy, I don't remember where you're taking us. Just take us. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Apparently, oh no, the doors! Why would you do that, Crappy? Why would you do that? Well, everybody, say hello to our dear friend and longtime GM, Time Wander. No, this isn't. What? Absolutely not. You are not a longtime GM. You are a player. How did you sneak in here? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Time Wander, where are you? Can you join chat? Time Wander, where are you? Come on, come on, come on. I need you to come to do the chatting with me. I need you to come talking to me. So, as it turns out, every once in a while when somebody gets eliminated from Kusog7ande, when they're out, they had wanted to be GMs and honestly had been approved of being GMs before. It's just that now they have the option. There we go. We got people yelling at you. Hi, Time Wander.
Hi.
Hey, it is good to have you. And yeah, we gave you the thumbs up to be a GM before Kuso started, and then you were like, nah, I want to play.
I mean, I was like, you know what? I'll play for as long as my performance allows me to, and then if I get knocked out early, then I can GM. And I didn't think it would actually happen because, I mean, you know, the last couple of years I made it pretty far in brackets, so I was like, well, I mean, if I get knocked out in like the winners or in like the losers final, there's not really a whole lot of room for me to GM. But this year I got Jeffed twice, so now I'm here.
What was the last one? Super Mega Man World, Mega Man and Super Mario Bros.
Oh, that was the third round. The last one was Bobby Blockhead versus the Dark Planet for the Acorn Archimedes.
Oh yeah, Acorn. Oh, you got hit by a Jeff. I see.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm really happy to be here. I was honestly like, if I hadn't done so well in the last couple of Kusog7andes, I probably would have just gone straight into GMing in the first place, because you guys seem like you have a lot of fun here.
Oh yeah, we do. We have a heck of a lot of fun. It's always a blast. Yeah, I'm really happy to have you here. By the way, I do want to say all of the players for the last match, never feel bad about how you did, especially if that means that your whole group manages to move into brackets. Then you should feel completely fine about how you did. So seriously, last match was a heck of a lot of fun. Every once in a while the game doesn't work for you. Don't worry about it. It's just Kusog7ande. With that said, you're here with one of my favorite TV series ever.
I thought you were going to say one of my favorite games, and
no,
I was going to
no.
be
Why would this be
concerned.
my favorite game?
I mean, I was concerned for a minute, but you know,
This isn't Good Games Grande, okay? Yeah, let's go ahead and say whoever said that is a big fat liar. Lying, lying, lying. Lying pants, huh? How do you feel to be a liar? Cheaty liar boy, or liar girl, or liar anybody? Why? Why are you a liar, huh?
I would like to just pose the idea that a game just because a game is bad does not mean it can't be your favorite.
I actually kind of like this game, though.
I kind of do too.
Yeah, if this is the one that I'm thinking of, which I think it is, then I'm super excited. Reveal it for us. What do we have for our final game of the day?
Today we've got Buffy the Vampire Slayer: Wrath of the Darkhul King for the Game Boy Advance.
Look, she is so serious about this, okay? She's not messing around. She's gonna stab some vampires.
I had a hard time finding this box art because there's like 3 or 4 different Buffy games, and she's making the same face on all of them.
Yeah, you know what? You found like the lowest quality picture, and I was like, I'm not taking that, so I went and found a better one.
Yeah, it was really small, but all of the other ones were like eBay pictures, so
I might have stolen mine from eBay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I see you also got yours from Europe, Peggy 12.
Well, that's okay. Well, Europe
So, yeah.
gets games.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, unfortunately, too many people here know that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I love the series. It does have, of course, you know, the issue that a lot of games based off of movies have, which is that they don't end up being the best.
I think that this game has some redeeming qualities.
Okay.
But not enough to save it from handing it out here.
Yeah.
It is predominantly awful. But you know, it still has stuff that I like about it.
It is predominantly awful. That is such a good way of putting it. Yeah, I can deal with predominantly awful. Let me see. Clades, I believe, has everything looking good. I just gotta get it all captured, and then I will be ready to start. So yeah, I have to ask, like, what are your favorite types of bad games? Since you're a new GM here, like, what do you really dig playing?
Well, I haven't figured out what my sort of GM style is gonna be yet.
There's no... Okay, GM style, it's all a lie, okay? Everybody's lying when they say, except for Jeff, who just is like, hey, let me go ahead and find the weirdest crap I can.
You're gonna tell me Xandra doesn't have a style?
Okay, Xandra has a style, but not always. Everybody breaks out of it sometimes.
Yeah, not everybody has a style. I really like... Honestly, like, this is the most basic answer, but I really like platform. I really like licensed platformers and janky platformers and like the most basic kind of Kusoge.
Okay.
I'm going to, as a GM, try to branch out of that because more than platformers, I like weird and interesting, like, sort of genre twisting stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a lot of that prepared to give out today. So today we got Buffy, which I also like.
I like Buffy as well. Okay.
Incidentally, I know nothing about the TV show, so you can be the... I've never seen Buffy.
Well, I mean, that's understandable. And I do think that, like, it does have the issue... Oh my gosh. The Joss Whedon issue of it was made by Joss Whedon, but there were so many people who contributed to it. Like, I don't want to neglect all of the wonderful stuff that's in Buffy because one person was a big, giant patootie. And he was.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Exactly. All the people who worked on it weren't, like, automatically just bad people for working on it. And also, like, all of your enjoyment that you built up about it came before we knew stuff about Joss Whedon. It's kind of the same thing.
Not really. No, I only watched Buffy at, like, the last couple years.
Oh, well, I mean,
but I want, I always wanted to.
Its original air date.
Yeah.
I kind of say the same thing about Harry Potter, where it's like, you know, there's a certain degree of that where that doesn't really belong to her anymore. That belongs to people, so you can still, you know, enjoy it. Just be conscious of, you know, what's behind that and where your money's going.
Yeah. Be aware of where your money is going. I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, I'm not going to, like, I don't know.
It's complicated,
It's
bro.
It's an issue that, like, I'm not ready to discuss. Have you heard all of the stupid stuff I've said today? I'm not ready to discuss while I'm doing setup for freaking Buffy the Vampire Slayer for Kusog7ande, okay?
You know
let's
what?
Just
That's
go ahead
fine.
and let's just go ahead and stop me from saying stupid stuff because I've got lots of stupid stuff that I can say.
That's fine. You know what? I will break the tension and just let everyone know that in this game you press R to jump.
That's always a nice feature. Oh, good.
You've tried up to jump.
You've tried down to jump.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. There's actually a modern Steam game that I've played that has R to jump. But as its default, you can remap, but I actually prefer it that way for reasons. And it's difficult to describe why without talking about the specific game, but R to jump is the best option.
Yeah, I can see that. like, I really like R for like a dash or a slide move. So like, it's not that R is a weird game for, it's not that R is a weird button for movement in general, but R to jump on a Game Boy Advance is an odd one. That one's...
Well, let me go ahead. I'm doing one last check to make sure everybody is mapped in the... whatever. That all of their streams are in the correct place, because we've got Mooware on the top left, we've got Lobst on the top right, we've got Clades bottom left. Yeah, and that wouldn't pop up. And someone 3255 on the bottom right. And otherwise, I am good to go. Oh, that is certainly a picture that somebody shared. Okay, everybody is ready. So I'm going to do the countdown. Everybody, I need all of your best cheesy horror emotes that you have. Vampire Draculas, if you have a heckin' Dracula. Actually, should I have them start? I don't know. Should we have them start on like the difficulty screen to make sure they all have the correct difficulty?
Difficulty screen, yeah. Difficulty screen is good. They should all be on normal. Not because I specifically prefer normal to the other difficulties, but because I don't know what the other ones are like. So this is the only one that I can actually like vet properly.
Okay, so I'm letting them know, go to the difficulty screen, hover over normal. Okay.
Now, there will be some dialogue to mash through when they start. I have told them that the dialogue in this game is largely inconsequential. It's basically just, you know, telling story and quips and stuff like that. So they're probably going to see a bunch of story screens, and I hope that they all just sort of mash through it.
Well, as soon as I see somebody move in the first stage, I will start our timer. Yep, they all skipped. Oh, look at, oh my gosh. Willow,
right.
I love you, Willow. Giles, I love you, Giles. Yeah, so I believe that I actually gave this game out years ago in Kusog7ande, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm actually kind of a fan of this game. It's not good, but it's also kind of fun.
It's bad fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely bad fun. I like R to jump, and the fact that the tutorial stage is going to stop them a bunch of times to tell them stuff that I mostly already told them. I did not tell them there's a double jump, but the tutorial will. They'll figure it out because it's like the second obstacle in the game.
Per hedge maze, by the way, this actually ended up in the bin.
Oh no!
So
Why?
my question, what have you done in order to make it not tubined?
I don't know. Why was it two-binned? It was on the approved list.
It's probably because we didn't fully understand what was going on with it. I didn't know how to track the game, and it was just really confusing. Just because there's one stage that sort of has two kind of parallel universes, and yeah, Kat gave it out last year and knew how to track it, so that was the most important thing. We had somebody who knew how to track that part of the game.
Okay, that's a relief, because I do have an idea of how to track progress in this, but that scared me. I'm sitting here like, all right, it's my first GM game. I got to give out something relatively safe.
However, honestly, there's always a possibility that level doesn't even become an issue. So we'll have to see what the players do. And worst case scenario, if that level is the tiebreaker, then we can go ahead and phone a friend, aka Flannel Cat, to find out exactly how they did, and we can do a VOD review later on. But yeah, as it turns out, back in the day when, I'm pretty sure that was fairly early on when I was giving out most of the games myself. most or all of them. Sometimes I wasn't able to like actually check everything very thoroughly because it's a lot of games. Yeah. Okay, Hedgemaze is saying it was in Kuso 2. If it was Kuso 2 when I essentially vetoed the match, then 100% I did not have time to play every single game.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, I didn't even play this whole game. I played this in Mystery Tournament, like several years ago. And that's actually where I found it for the first time. And I've just had it, I've had it sitting around for a while since then, and I was looking for stuff to give out. This was actually not my first pick. My first pick was vetoed, but I'm not going to say what it is because I'm going to try to give it out again.
Haha! Oh, it lost! You thought that was a pull you could walk on, but no, it was a pick.
Yeah.
Or just an issue with R being jumped. That could also be it.
Yeah, shoutouts also to the, I love this rope climbing animation. Or like, not climbing, but like the rope moving animation, I guess. Where she's just kind of like going hand over hand, but it looks really robotic.
It does,
I'm a big fan of that, especially when they hit fire and fall off of it into a pit.
Pew pew. Ah! So, like, I'm gonna go ahead and give the creators, the artists, some props because, like, Buffy is 100% recognizable. Like, yeah, even though you can't really see facial features, and even though it's kind of weird 3D looking, like, this is Buffy. You recognize her. You know it's her. Like,
sure.
Even if you never saw the box art, if you had seen Buffy before, you would recognize that this is a Buffy game.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that, like, the sprites and the animations, while, like, janky, are workable.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah,
it's like you said, you can tell what this all is and what you're supposed to be doing with it. There are some stages later on where it won't be entirely clear what's in the foreground or background. In terms of, like, platforms that you have to be on.
Yeah.
But
platform design
that'll
is really rough when you're going for anything that looks angled like they have here, because the platforms are still just rectangular hitboxes. It's just, where does the rectangle end? What you should do as a designer, if you do have platforms like this, give more wiggle room to the players. Don't let them, like, think that they're going to stand on a platform and actually have that be the edge where they fall off. Like, be nice to your players. Don't have dumb platforming.
I would like to posit another idea of how you can be nice to your players.
Shadows. Okay, how else?
Not with platforming specifically. You should not make the method of damaging your enemies a limited resource.
What?
As a general rule, like, if there is a game where you have to, go through a stage and beat up enemies, you should be able to beat up enemies and have that not be limited.
Okay.
However, in this game, the only way to actually kill enemies, other than, like, someone has figured out that you can knock them off cliffs, which that works too.
Yeah.
So you can punch them and kick them all you want, and they'll fall down and then they'll get back up. To actually kill them, you have to stake them. Yeah. You have to hit them with a stake after having weakened them. And that's the only way to actually kill enemies permanently. And stakes are limited. So when you kill an enemy with a stake, the stake is gone, and you have to get more stakes.
Yeah, that's not how wood works.
You can carry a maximum of 9.
I mean, to be fair, 9 stakes that are strong enough to kill vampires. Yeah, that sort of makes sense that you would not be able to carry more, but they shouldn't be one-time use. Like, Buffy literally uses the same stake to kill multiple vampires in multiple episodes, okay? Like, whop, whop, stab, stab, bam.
Like, from what I know of Buffy, Buffy should have, like, a personalized stake with her initials on it.
I'm trying to remember if she does. She does have some personalized weapons, especially towards the end. Like Slayer-specific equipment. I believe the crossbow was very Slayer-specific. The rocket launcher, not as much. But that was season 1, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. Buffy does have other items. She has an axe. She has a crossbow. She has holy water that, I'll be honest, I don't entirely know how to use. And some other things that I've forgotten. And most of those other items will also do the job of taking out an enemy permanently.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that you have that's free is punches and kicks. And those aren't enough.
Honestly, though, if you're watching Someone 3255, he's skipping most of the enemies here.
And that's how you manage that problem.
Yeah.
That's why someone is kind of crushing it right now.
Yeah, honestly, just don't deal with every enemy. Clades is kind of doing the same thing in the museum here. The museum was a pretty popular, a popular location in early seasons of Buffy. I believe they went there a few times and accidentally released some curses. You know, that's sort of what happens.
Like you do.
Like you do. Yeah.
So I'll be kind of curious to see as we go through different stages if there is like an actual show parallel to what we're actually looking at. I believe this is an original story, not like related specifically to to any of the seasons or movies or anything like that.
That's correct. Like the pictures are definitely taken from the show for the cutscenes, but the story itself does appear to be an original story here. They read a book that talks about the story of the Darkhul King, who rose to power when demons freely roamed the earth. He used a scepter to raise from the dead any demon that had been slain in battle, and then he reigned apparently for 500 years. Holy freaking crap. Using the scepter to open a portal from his dimension to Earth and release his cruelty into the world. That happens a lot in the Buffyverse. Finally,
I can believe it.
Yeah, a sorceress used his scepter to imprison him with his temple for all of eternity, and the weapon was hidden. That's about right. However, Buffy, here's the deal. Year 2000, Buffy complains about her low grade for her women's study class and not having time to dedicate to her studies. This is so, oh my gosh. This is peak Buffy, okay? This is 100% true to the show.
There is a line, and I told them to skip the dialogue, so you probably won't see it, but one of the opening lines in this game is like, wow, you can really feel the Joss Whedon misogyny. Because Buffy's like, I don't understand how I got a D in women's studies. I'm a woman and I study.
I think that here's the deal. Buffy originally started as being essentially a cheerleader character. So like, literally one of the earliest episodes is her auditioning to be a cheerleader. Like, she was not supposed to be an intelligent person. Be much more of a preppy girl who just happened to also slay vampires. And so she's kind of a jerk in early Buffy, and it's amazing, and definitely like a clueless girl character. I would say that
so she got character development.
Over the 7 seasons, heck yeah.
Yeah.
She got a lot of good character development.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she got good treatment as a character.
Yeah, no, Buffy is I would say that pretty much every character got some really good development. It is a... Joss Whedon managed to have the first lesbian kiss in TV. I believe it was the first one. Unfortunately, one of the characters got killed off, which was also one of the earliest examples of a lesbian character being killed, which became a huge trope. Unfortunately, you can't just kill off the gays in your TV show in order to get the feels going. You've done that too much. Be creative, people. But it was one of the earlier examples. Deep Space Nine says hello. Okay, I think it might have been Deep Space Nine that got it first. But it was really early on, and something that, like, I feel was, at least for that time, definitely pushing the boundaries for what they could do on TV with representation for LGBT characters. It's flawed, but it's still...
As anything in the 90s was, really.
Yeah.
90s? Early on?
I think it
90s,
was...
right?
I think it was late 90s, early 2000s. It was still, like, more than most of what TV had. So, like... Yeah. It's flawed, but I can definitely say that it was growth.
I do want to address what Arcade Park said, that cheerleaders being like the dumb kids is also kind of a harmful misogynistic stereotype. That is true. That is worth noting.
Oh, well, yeah, like, guess what? Stereotypes aren't really accurate. Yeah. And honestly, like, it can be harmful if you just hear that somebody is part of certain group and immediately start to judge based off of that. That's problematic.
Right. It's worth discussing.
Yeah. 100%. It's worth discussing. With that said,
I'm really impressed with someone right now. Someone
is doing really well here, yeah. This is a bonus stage. Honestly, just try to finish it as quickly as you can, whether that be dying or getting to the end. However.
Escorian wants to know if the crossbow fires stakes. I don't know if it necessarily does, specifically.
Literally, a bolt from a crossbow is a piece of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Buffy does kill vampires in the show with it, yes.
In game terms, weapons kill enemies. The axe does not fire stakes. You throw it and it kills enemies. I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's doused in holy water or whatever, but
in Buffy terms, it's a piece of wood. You just have to make sure it goes through the heart.
But how does that work with an axe, though? Because it's the metal that goes through the heart.
Not every enemy is a vampire.
Fair.
You gotta know who you're fighting.
I guess you just need that little bit of extra oomph.
Yeah.
Where like punches and kicks don't get it done.
It's true. These are magical axes per Neptune Daydream. I'm trying to remember like what, because she definitely had an axe in the show. Generally though, like, there were multiple times that she, like, stabbed a vampire and missed the heart, and the vampire is just like, really? And then she'd re-stab and they die.
Oh, I'm really glad that someone learned that you can push those rocks. Because it's not super clear, and it's really important for getting through this next stage.
Now, it looks like we're getting to some of the enemies that show up in the episode The Gentleman. Anybody who has seen Buffy knows The Gentleman. And, yeah, let's just say that they're evil. I'm not... The Gentlemen specifically are some of the creepiest enemies that show up in any episode of Buffy. The little henchmen that run around with it just sort of wear straitjackets that have sort of come undone and they flail like the long sleeves. They're kind of Like, yeah, maybe it's not exactly the best thing to be using as a costume, but it works for creepy level. Bad Road, you're saying the gentlemen were the villains from Hush. That is correct. They're kind of the really strange, floaty guys in suits who smile and look like they put their hands together like Mr. Burns saying, excellent, and just sort of float around, and then they make people not able to talk. In fact, I believe that episode got an award, or maybe several awards, for writing, even though there's almost no talking in it.
That's
It's a really good episode.
That is actually impressive writing, when you can like get a lot done without a lot of dialogue, but all the dialogue is really impactful. No, I respect it.
Well, I mean, the whole plot essentially is everybody's voices have been taken away, and they're trying to figure out what the crap is going on.
That's a good premise.
It's so... Yeah, if there's one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer that you should watch, number one, Hush. It's gonna freak you out, okay? And you might actually really enjoy it. Oh my gosh. There are a few, like, key episodes that are absolutely amazing. Also, I have to say, there's one episode, I don't want to spoil what it is or, like, what happens at all. If you've seen the episode, you'll know. But it deals with death in a way that I've never seen in any show before. That is, like, one of the most realistic depictions of it. And it is just, like, watching it, it's so different from the way any other show has dealt with it. And I think that, like, I believe that episode won multiple awards as well, and it deserved it. It was amazing. The musical episode, because Joss Whedon always has to have a musical episode, welcome to what he did. It's amazing. It's great. There's a demon that shows up in town that curses everybody and to break into song. And, like, people can feel it coming on, and they just can't. They're like, oh, crap. And then they start singing and dancing, and that's the demon's thing. And then he, like, manages to, like, get some people to dance to death and steals their energy from it. It's... yeah.
That's a lot. That's really a lot.
Buffy's so good.
I've been watching someone, and I gotta say, I was on the fence about explaining one mechanic that shows up in the level that someone just passed.
Okay.
So clearly it was fine. There is you learn from the early episodes that there are items that you can push. And it's a lot of, like, push a crate so that you can, climb up high enough to get to the next platform or whatever. Very standard stuff for this type of game. There is a spot in level 5 or 6, I forget, where there is just a really, really tall rock in the middle of the grass that you have to get over top of. And there's no obvious way to do it. And the only thing you can do is push a smaller rock that's up at the top of the hill, down the hill, to smash into it and break the larger rock. Which is not something that has shown up at to this point anywhere, and I'm not sure if it shows up again. The idea of just, like, pushing an item into another item to break it, like, that's not really a thing.
Okay.
But someone just did it like it was totally normal.
That probably is fantastic.
I imagine what he was thinking is, I need to push this rock down the hill to get over that other rock. But once it starts going down the slope, there's a little cutscene that plays where it just rolls down and crashes into it.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, but, like, if you know that you can push rocks, and there's a rock that appears to be the same type of rock that you've pushed before, then push the rock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes
Muware is right there as well.
Yes, that is the big rock right there. And to make matters worse, there's a giant spike pit that comes up in front of it. So if you're trying
there goes Muware! Yeah! Good thinking, Mooware. Bam!
Okay, good.
That's not how rocks work, but you know, it works in the game.
No, it sure isn't. It sure isn't, especially not on ground that looks that soft. But it's fine. It works for the game. Okay, I was debating whether or not to. I figured I'd just confuse them if I started giving them like level 5 hints.
Yeah.
Before they even started. So I was like, nah, I'll just, you know. By that point, they should be able to figure it out. And if it gets stuck, then, you know, people get stuck on things. It's happened to all of us.
By the way, the fun thing about Buffy in the museum in this game is that she was there to do a report about Amelia Earhart's exhibit there as extra credit for one of the teachers there. Just as a guess, there's a reasonable chance her teacher is a demon, just because I know Buffy.
Fair.
Fair. Yeah.
Is that why she's jumping around on dinosaur skulls?
Yes, well, she gets attacked. She's also not doing a good job of writing the report, but...
It doesn't sound like it if she's at the dinosaur skulls.
Yeah, what's interesting about this game, Buffy does... At least early on, there are a lot of demons and enemies that show up as one-episode enemies. This game actually has callbacks to a lot of those more memorable one-episode enemies, and I really appreciate the show and not, like, trying to focus, at least early on, not really trying to focus too much on, like, playing to the fans, you know, one and done, and we move on. But I guess I can appreciate a game doing that. You know, if you're gonna go ahead and bring something back, do a little fan service, I guess, for the game. It looks like someone 3255 has made it to an area. I'm guessing this is Riley, who is one of the characters who shows up sort of in, I think, around season 3, and he, I believe... Did he date Willow? Or did he date Buffy? Whatever. He became a huge part.
Help you with this, bro.
He became a huge part of an anti-demon coalition. Blah 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 blah. He fights demons as well. It's just more part of a government entity than anything else. Oh, he disappeared and gave her a gun. That sounds about right.
Yeah. He actually shows up in a number of different, areas. There was one stage earlier where there's, oh yeah, there he is again. Yeah, there's actually multiples of him in multiple different cages or prison cells or whatever you want to call them.
Maybe they just keep getting him.
It could just be really, you know, maybe it's just a lot of people. Yeah, see, there he is. Could just be a lot of people just sporting the same fashion. You know?
Yeah.
The jeans and the red plaid and just really trendy. Yeah, someone burned a lot of, like, laser gun stuff because the enemy was like, too close. It was one of those things where you shoot past the hitbox because they're right next to you.
Honestly, that's kind of understandable.
Yeah, you expect
like,
it.
If an enemy charges you and you are not already pointing at them, like, it's actually really hard to hit things with a gun because even like the slightest angle that you get incorrect with anything, it's amplified over distance, and so it's just like small mistakes, even with the laser gun, you know. Gonna be hard.
Yeah.
And if they're right up to you and you've got a really long gun, how do you get gun back? You can't. Barrel past their face. It's a long gun.
How gun close shoot when enemy close for far?
Yeah. How?
Yeah. I don't know.
You can't. You just can't.
Yeah. Someone's still doing really well. I believe someone is coming up on a boss, which represents actually the furthest that I've played in this game. So I feel very safe in saying that if I had run into someone in the mystery tournament match where I played this, I would have lost. because that boss was the end of the of that match. So this will be exciting.
Oh yeah. By the way, one funny thing about Buffy that I want to talk about is that when I was a teen, my mother and my sister, my older sister Essentia, who's around here sometimes, watched a lot of Buffy. I wasn't really into it because every single time I walked in, it was like Buffy and Spike making out. Or Buffy and Angel making out. And it was just like, oh, I don't really care about that. I don't really care about that. I should have known I was... No, I think I knew I was gay at that point, but I really didn't care about that. So I saw a couple different things happen in Buffy, and so when I was watching it with Justin, I was like, hey, you know, I know about this character who dies, and I can't tell you, okay? But like, I just want to talk about it because it's such a sad moment, and I like saw that part. I can even visually remember it. I remember seeing it. We finished the series. That character never died. That character literally never died. And I'm like, what the crap? And so I surprised myself. I managed to accidentally, like, I thought I had spoiled myself due to knowing that, but no, I shocked myself by knowing 100% that a character dies.
Fake spoilers are some of the best things. Like when you think you know what's going to happen and you just go through the whole series like waiting for that to happen, and then it turns out that you were just completely wrong. I've had that happen before. It's a great feeling.
I was both happy and upset that happened, but oh, okay, there we go. Someone 3255 managed to beat the level. You have to break that box. That unleashes Buffy's voice, which allows her to scream, making the gentleman's head explode. Good job. It's complicated. It's a Buffy thing. If you know Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like, that fight makes sense. If you don't, then honestly, just follow the path, push the things that look like you should push, and then boom.
Yeah, it really is. It's sort of in stages. You've got one that's kind of hanging out at the end of the stage, and then you've got one that
the blind
is
jump
chasing you around the stage. Oh no, I just saw it.
Like, here, I would say that the level design in this game isn't really that bad. Like, it's somewhat intuitive. There is some BS, what with jump being mapped to R. The knockback is brutal in this, and with the bats flying around, it's rough. But yeah. I feel like the level actually guides you where you're supposed to go most of the time.
Yeah, the level design is fairly solid. I would say the platforming, despite R to jump, you know, you have a run and you have a double jump, and you do have to use those to get to some pretty far platforms, but it doesn't feel that bad once you get a feel for it. The combat never feels good.
Yeah.
The combat, I think, is what makes this really, really bad, especially since you have a lot of enemies that are a lot faster than you, and the fact that, again, your ability to actually kill the enemies is on a limit. Like, I cannot stress this enough. They're pretty generous with, like, giving you stakes and stuff.
You're able to knock them down and run past, which is functionally the same as killing them in this game, because they're gone. You're past them. You will never see that enemy again unless you die, in which case, even if you killed them, they're back. So,
that's true, assuming it's a place where you can just run through freely, which most of them are, but sometimes you get stuck behind like a switch or a puzzle or something, and you have to take them out before you can progress, and then it's just really miserable.
True.
But yeah, the combat being the worst thing in the game means, okay, like you can see someone right now struggling to get past this enemy and rock combo. Yeah. Because like he needs to get past the enemy, but the enemy takes about 15 hits to knock down, and he doesn't have any way to do it faster. But until he does that, he can't get past the swinging rock, so he's got to figure out some way to take care of them. And fun fact, when you're trying to deal with enemies that have been knocked down, like in that situation, he would have wanted to knock down the vampire or zombie or whatever that happened to be there. He would have wanted to knock that down and then walk over top of them after knocking them down. No. Enemies still have they still have collision while they're on the ground, so you have to jump over them.
Yeah.
Which really, really sucks when you're also trying to get under an obstacle.
By the way, Chad is mentioning that Whedon did some pretty crappy things during filming with the actors. I would definitely agree. And anything that's good, I would say, is in spite of, not because of, him being a terrible person. With that said, Buffy is one of the earliest examples of a character who was able to be strong and to be girly at the same time. And I just think that's neat. You can be strong and girly, y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, someone 3255 is on the level that actually made me bin the game.
Oh god. Oh no.
Yeah, do you know this level?
Nope.
Well then. The big question though, whoever comes in first in this match, I believe will have enough points to move on in the tournament, easy peasy.
Yes, I believe this is a 21-22 match.
21-22. Whoever comes in second and third, that is what matters the most. So, someone 3255 is definitely in the lead. Mooware and Clades are fairly close to each other. Lobst, I believe, is currently behind everybody else. And so I think that, when we get closer to the end of the match, that's when we will really want to start paying attention. And if it comes down to it, we may also need... Let's see. Yeah, we may need to have a little guidance. Why? Because there are two versions of this level, I believe. One is sort of in the day and one is at night. Why? I don't know. It's a neat little touch that, they didn't have to make. And it makes it so that each time you play the game, it's a little bit different. And I think that, the dungeon orders can be a little bit different. Yeah, look at Clades and Mooware, seriously, neck and neck here.
Yeah, and that's, whoever takes second is, I think, probably looking at tiebreakers? Potentially?
Probably, unless second place is Lobst. Lobst has to come in first in order to move on in the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah. Clades and Mooware, if they take second, they may very well qualify for the tiebreaker. Someone, if they take second, same thing. Lobst is the only one who would be eliminated if they came in second place.
Well, there's tons of time left. Someone has a fairly secure lead at the moment.
Yeah, but welcome to this level.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Doesn't mean it can't be overturned at some point.
True.
But second place is very close. And Blades is now also onto the... Oh, they're both onto the boss. Yeah, so this boss you basically just have to platform through and, the one floating enemy you can't kill. The other ones you can, and that's what opens the gate to the next area. And then I hope Lobst gets here because the sound effect on the boss kill is delightful.
So
it's wonderful.
Yeah, hopefully we're able to see that. I can't recall what it is, but I do remember that there are some pretty good moments in this game. Someone 3255 is really good at just figuring out the weird small puzzle elements, and it's very impressive.
It really seems to just be going to everything that looks a little bit off and throwing a punch at it, and honestly, that seems like the right way to go.
By the way, the company that made this actually worked on quite a few interesting games. Some of you might remember we had Tristan on earlier today. Well, of course, some of you are going to remember that. Hachiman was developed by the same company. Tristan always using an icon from that. They helped with, I believe, some of the ports of some of the Harvest Moon games. Not necessarily the better ports, but ports nonetheless. I do see... Oh my gosh, a SpongeBob game? Of course. Why not? Everybody works on a SpongeBob game. Power Rangers all through the history here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was Natsume. Indeed, Codeman. It is Natsume.
I was looking at Iku Mizutani, who worked as the who was a producer on this game, but is better known as a as doing sound for the original Metal Gear, Shatterhand, Snatcher, a bunch of stuff over time. But actually worked for a few, worked as a producer, or is credited as a producer on a few games, starting with WWF WrestleMania 2000 in 1999, and ending, did a couple of Power Rangers games in there, did Croc 2.
You missed Bassmasters Classic. Come on.
It wasn't an exhaustive list.
Nah, I'm just saying it's very important.
I mean, I guess it is basically a couple of WWF games, several Power Rangers games, Bassmasters Classic, Croc 2, Action Man Search for Base X.
Okay.
And then this game, after which point they were never credited on a production ever again.
Yeah, which honestly, that's fine. Like this game, I still feel like if you were a fan of Buffy, it would probably be fairly enjoyable. Like,
I think you could absolutely like this game if you're in for like the show fan service.
And if you can forgive the R to jump and deal with the janky controls, then yeah, I'd agree.
Once you realize that fighting anything is basically poison to your fun, then you can have a pretty decent time with this.
Yeah, you just have to not play it the way that you inherently would try to play anything. Oh my gosh. Because it's fun to skip everything.
Codeman is correct. Iku Mizutani is still working on sound stuff, just not on production stuff.
Yeah, I do see that they worked on Hero Must Die again fairly recently. Not anything in the last few years, but maybe there are some other projects in the works.
I mean, they've been around for a while, so maybe they'll just retire and rest for a while. That's valid too.
Everyone is allowed to retire, okay? You don't have to work until forever.
Self-care is important. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, and retiring and going off on a cruise, that's important as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on a cruise, everybody.
Last Egg, my first GM is going great. I'm having a great time. I hope everyone is having a great time.
I definitely am. I love this game. I love Buffy. I love talking about Buffy. And I like...
I had you in mind. When I presented this. Like I said, it wasn't my first choice. My first choice got vetoed. But then I was like, you know what? I bet bro would like to talk about Buffy for a while.
Yeah, for sure. Sarah Michelle Gellar, freaking fantastic, okay? She kicks butt. She kicks butt in this movie. She was in the Scooby-Doo movies, which is funny because the people in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the crew fighting the demons, called themselves the Scooby Gang. So she literally became part of the Scooby Gang after this.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Retroactively?
Well, she was in the live-action Scooby-Doo movies. So...
yeah, that counts.
Yeah. The ones that were like, okay, we're gonna be a little less subtle about everything that the cartoon alludes to. Yeah, those live-action movies.
Yeah. I know the one. Wasn't Freddie Prinze Jr. in one of them?
I have no idea.
As Fred, I think. I don't know if they were in the same one. I saw like one or two of those movies. And then kind of stopped paying attention to Scooby-Doo in general. Which apparently is really good because everyone hates the new Velma show. I don't know anything about it. I just know it's getting trashed.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not gonna judge you
I
now.
just know what I heard.
Because as soon as I say something, I'm gonna get in trouble. Today's me getting in trouble because I talk about things I don't know.
Yeah, well, at least you're not the one who presented a game that got tube and binned and didn't know why.
That's true. That's true.
So I can own that one. Luckily, it looks like someone has gotten through the mansion or whatever stage that was.
Oh yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar was in The Grudge, and The Grudge 2. She played Karen. I never saw those, but there you go. By the way, for those who are new around here, when we say if something goes in the tubin bin or gets tubined, here's a fun story. One time I gave away tubin for Game Boy Color as a Kusog7ande match, and as it turns out, that game doesn't really function. It has big problems. And it definitely, like, I think it's kind of fun to play, but as a competitive match, there was just no skill involved, and instead, it was all utter chaos. And because of that, I was like, no, we're just going to invalidate this match. It's dumb.
To be fair, we're in favor of utter chaos, but it has to be measurable chaos.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to necessarily, like, this is a bad game tournament. Every once in a while, we're going to have games that just don't work like we thought they would. And it happens to everybody, okay? I feel like we may have one or two GMs who have avoided the tube and bin, and if so, kudos to you. I don't know who you are, but go ahead and raise your hands in chat if you are. But yeah, pretty much everybody is going to have one game where the match is invalidated because the game had some issues that we had no idea about, because despite the testing, just some weird edge cases came up. Aha! Hedge Maze has avoided all bins and containers. That is great to hear. I would also say that despite Wolf and us claiming that he's the #1 resident of the tube and bin, it's really me. It's just that I've managed to hide a lot of my shame.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I feel like if this were to get tubin, I would be 1 for 1 on the tubin bin.
So I would 100% rate.
I like a 100% rate of tubin. That would, by default, despite a small sample size, make me the new master of the tubin bin. I don't want to be that. So yeah, it looks like everything's fine. I'm hoping everything will be fine.
Honestly, it looks like Mooware and Clades probably got the same version of this level, and because of that, it may be a little bit easier for us to follow. So we might not really need to worry about what caused the tubin bin in the first place. There we go. Clades through a level, moving on. Level 11. Heck, there's even a level counter right there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was sort of counting on that for, progress purposes. And most of the levels are fairly linear. So I was assuming we could probably measure progress through the stage. But in the event of a more maze-like stage where that's more difficult, we can just default to whoever made it there first.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. She was also in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Sarah Michelle Gellar, I love you. Okay, you were absolutely fantastic back in the day, and you still are.
What's she doing these days?
I mean, she did some voice acting for the new Masters of the Universe.
Oh, that's cool.
I guess she played herself in The Big Bang Theory in one episode, so that's it happened. She did some Robot Chicken. She's been in a handful of things, but honestly, not too much lately from what I can see. Although there may be some upcoming things. Wolfpack, the TV series, I know nothing about that. As well as Hot Pink in an episode of that. What the crap is Wolfpack? Are there wolves?
No,
Is this furry trash?
I'm going to assume either that there are wolves or, like, I don't know, edgy fighter pilots.
Yeah, it seems like she might be in all, like, one of the main characters in that. Okay, if there are werewolves, if there are werewolves and they're better than the freaking werewolves in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm interested in this. Because, okay, Seth Green was one of the main characters in sort of, like, early Buffy, and that was before he did comedy. Oh, wait, no, that's assuming he ever was a comedian. Anyways, Seth Green burned. He was a werewolf in the show, and he was the ugly. Let's see if I can find the werewolf for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because it was the ugliest freaking thing. It's like you either make werewolves hot or you make them absolute abominations, and Buffy went for the abomination side of things.
I'm gonna stick up for Seth Green for one role and one role only in his entire career.
He tried to make a movie based off of a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, no, I know. That's not the thing I'm gonna stand up for him. Like, that's not the thing I'm gonna say was good. I'm just gonna say that I've been getting back into Mass Effect lately, and he does a good job as Joker.
Oh, he does Joker for Mass Effect?
Yeah, the pilot.
Okay.
And he's pretty great.
That's kind of cool, actually.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, honestly, here's the deal. People are losing a lot of money based off of this. We're allowed to make fun of them for a little while. He lost a lot of money on that. I'm allowed to make fun of that. And hopefully he's learned his lesson. With that said, here is ugly Seth Green in full vampire, or not vampire, werewolf garb. Yeah, it is so ugly. Here's another picture. Okay, like there were strange variations and every single one of them was hideous. Absolutely the ugliest freaking gobs I said gob. He's a gob.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
He is a hideous gob in all of these.
I wasn't gonna stop you. This is like peak 1990s TV special effects.
Yeah, I actually really like practical effects and like, not doing CGI for everything. You don't need to CGI a werewolf. Just go ahead and get freaking Seth Green over, okay? He'll do it.
So throw some, throw several dozen wigs on him.
Just staple some wigs to him and you got it. Yeah. Okay, what? Wolfpack. I need to find out more about this series, Wolfpack series. Are there any... I need to know, are there werewolves ugly as sin? Or the opposite of that? Okay. I don't see any werewolves. Where are the werewolves?
While you are looking this up, I want to point out that Lobst is onto this boss. It looks pretty good that they will get to the end of this boss. So I would like for everyone to hear the sound effect on when this boss actually dies, because I had a very, very good time listening to this.
This is
it's
good.
Gonna take a minute.
You can tell this is a boss fight because of this music, right? Definitely sound like a boss fight. Okay, I found.
You can tell it's a boss fight because the fact that it. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens in the episode. I think they might have ripped the sound specifically from the episode.
Even better.
Yeah.
No, you can tell it's a boss fight because, again, the mechanic of you can't kill enemies unless you have these particular consumable items comes up here because you have to actually kill enemies to get through the stage to push the thing down to kill the boss. And so there's an NPC in the stage who just throws you random items to make sure that you don't get soft locked in the level.
I mean, it's a good idea. Like,
It's necessary, but just don't make the game like that. Just don't do it.
I honestly don't think that's a problem. It's just my opinion, though. Different design philosophy. Okay, I found a picture of the book Wolf Pack. And I'm not sure if this makes things better or worse. I hope that the wolves in the show are better than this, but he's kind of janky looking. Like, I gotta be honest. And then what is the guy in the back doing? I don't even know.
Oh no, it's fine. He's standing alongside the wolf and just kind of wrapping his arm around. He's giving like a little side hug.
A little side hug, okay.
It's a side hug.
Side hug.
From the side.
Okay.
Only the side.
Yeah, I have not found a single, like... I think I might have found pictures of the werewolves, but they look more human than werewolf, so I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't know. The most upsetting thing is that, like, the cutest werewolves in modern, like, live-action shows has been on The Order, which has the worst acting I think I have seen in a modern show for a long time. Like, it is so bad. It is so bad.
That is, I mean, there's a lot of bad acting.
No, like, I'm sorry, like...
Someone is getting absolutely wrecked in this tomb because they've decided in this stage to throw a lot of enemies at the top of ladders that can just push you off the ladder.
Yeah, that's not nice. I like the speed. Oh no, she just bounced all over the walls. That was amazing. Doink,
That's
doink,
great.
Freaking going DVD screensaver right there.
You can't recover from it. So if you get hit by anything at all,
so good.
You just bounce down to the bottom. Delightful. I'm having a great time with this. I don't know if they are.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I talked about werewolves. That's it.
Honestly,
that's the sentence there.
That's
the whole thought there.
Whole thing.
Sorry that I brought up werewolves.
I'm not sorry. I'm now now that you've shown that, I'm like, boy, I'll really watch that show if the werewolves look extra jank.
Yeah.
I don't want them to look good or average. I want them to look like worse than the Seth Green werewolf that you just showed, and like I want them to look like a student film.
Yeah, I'd say either make your werewolves look amazing or make them look terrible, okay? Like, I actually support the Seth Green werewolf. Like, it's horrifying. It's absolute, oh, my nightmares are filled with Seth Green. But if you're gonna make them bad, make them that bad.
What if you make werewolves look like sports team mascots? That's worse. I hate mascots. They creep me out.
Yeah, most mascots are not great. I did audition to be... I did audition to be my university's mascot, though. That was a fun story.
Did it work?
I auditioned, and it was like the most crazy moment of like my undergrad life, and by that I mean like in all the positive senses, because it was like completely spur of the moment. I heard about it, I'm like, sure, I'll go ahead and try to do that. And then like I had no idea what was gonna happen. I had to impromptu like make a dance in about like 5 minutes in order to like figure, like, in order to show off to people. But because I was wearing the mascot head the entire time, I didn't have the embarrassment of anybody knowing who I was in person. Oh my gosh, I did terrible. I was an absolute wreck. They're like, hey, shoot the basketball, Big Blue. And I vaguely shoot it in the right direction. They're like, catch the football, Big Blue. They throw a football at me, hits me in the face, and bounces off. They're like, do a trick. And I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. Yeah. And
that sounds traumatic.
it was fantastic. I loved every second of it. It was so much fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking earlier, and like I wasn't here, but one of the earlier matches you were talking about owning your cringe and like not being negative about it and just being like, yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. Great.
Well,
Own that. Love it.
what's great is that like I failed, but I failed anonymously. At least for most people, for like 90% of them. And
honestly,
it was great.
The amount of like just sheer courage to just go out and do that is like, be proud of yourself. That's cool.
It was hilarious.
That's cool that you did that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have been brave enough to do that.
I'm trying, like, yeah. It was complete.
Right,
like that was back when I would do things spur of the moment. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that now. No, you want me to go embarrass myself in front of the whole bunch of people? Nah, I do that on my own Twitch channel every week.
But anonymously, though.
No, I'm not anonymous. Everybody knows.
Not here, you're not. But in the mascot costume, you would be.
Yeah, here I'm not anonymous. All of my mistakes stick with me. Nightbot is evil, okay? Nightbot is the villain of this channel. Don't you forget that, chat.
Didn't you recently have to, like, work with the Nightbot people to get more quotes onto the Nightbot?
Recently, as in the last few years? Yeah. Okay, never mind. They're not evil.
To save more of the mistakes?
Yeah, actually, I asked them to expand the amount of quotes I could have on Nightbot so that Nightbot had a better memory. Why did I do that?
For what it's worth, I like the quotes a lot.
I like the quotes a lot, yeah. No,
they don't reflect your mistakes. They just reflect fun, out of context stuff that's happened on the stream.
That's part of, like, doing comedy at all. You just sort of, like, every once in a while you'll say something that out of context it's like, oh no. And in context sometimes it's like, oh no. But at the same time, like, I don't know, putting on a, like, performance and stuff, it's like, I wouldn't say this is, I'm gonna say dumb stuff, and sometimes it's on purpose and sometimes it's not on purpose, and I'd rather not let you know the difference between those two things.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We're really close to time, by the way.
I noticed. Yeah, by the way, Mooware and Clades are really close to each other, and I'm not completely sure who is in the lead between those two.
I believe Clades is in the lead, but I am not sure enough to say that for positive. I'll have to respond.
Yes, so there we go. That is, as a matter of fact, time. Everybody, throw up your hands in the air. Don't throw up hands. That's gross. Why are you eating hands? Whatever, clap for them. Watch the toad spin. You can watch the toad spin. That's pretty cool, huh? Just goes round and round. I like the toad. It's good. Yeah, everybody, go ahead and clap. Don't eat hands. Eat your vitamins, I guess. Unless you have too many vitamins, then probably cut back a little bit. Especially on the fat-soluble ADEK, okay? Those ones, you have way too much of those, then that can cause problems. B and C, not a big deal. So,
okay. Mooware just finished the... Sorry. Mooware just finished the stage that Clades is on, so it is someone, Clades, Mooware, and then Lobst.
Someone... Wait. If Mooware finished the stage that Clades is on...
That Clades just finished before the timer ran out.
Oh, okay. Well, then
that after the timer.
I
so
think
Clades won
that
by like a portion of a stage.
That was really close between second and third.
Close.
Then fantastic.
Really
I'm gonna go ahead and welcome someone 3255 in. Go ahead and let them know in the Discord match channel what the places were, and I will bring someone in to come and chat. So
someone did come really close. Someone did come really close to actually clearing the game. I think this is the last stage.
Yeah, this game is fairly quick to complete, and someone 3255 did fantastic. And here we are, someone! Congratulations, you took the victory here and secured your place in the bracket. Seriously, great job here.
Hey, thanks.
Oh my gosh, I love Buffy, and I really enjoyed this game. Mind you, this is an old school Kusog7ande game. In Kuso 2, I gave it out, and we ended up Tubin Binning it before Tubin Bin was a thing. It ended up coming back last year because somebody knew how to actually track progress. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And honestly, like, it was really neat to see how much progress you made in this game. You were just blasted through it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun once I figured out you don't have to fight anything and you can just jump over everything.
Oh, yeah!
Yes!
Time Stalker was saying exactly the same thing. Once you learn that you don't have to fight stuff, this game actually becomes playable. Oh my gosh. And
yeah, by far the worst aspect of this game is fighting anything.
It's just weird that, like, that's a main mechanic, but that the game actually is fun if you don't use the main mechanic, you know? And it actually goes really fast if you just avoid what the game wants you to do and instead go basically do the checkpoints in it, huh?
Yeah, and also the bosses you can just cheese by like using all your ranged weapons.
Oh yeah,
that was fun.
I mean, the gentlemen, the floating dudes that you faced, you know, that was a bit more of a puzzle boss where you couldn't actually deal damage to them. You had to go through the level.
Yeah, you still had to kill things too.
Yeah, did you figure that out pretty quickly, or did it take a little time to tease that one out?
I think I figured it out. Like, I tried killing the boss, but I missed, and I killed the other guys accidentally.
Yeah, the flailing man. Yeah.
And then I think I found the gate, and then I figured out you have to fight them. I think I was fighting the other guy anyways.
Yeah. With that said, like, what do you think of the game overall? Is it, because there's a lot of GBA games, there's a lot of GBA games. There are a lot of GBA games that, like, I think are mediocre. Does this fit into mediocre? Does it fit into good, bad? Like, what are your opinions? Do you feel strongly about anything with it?
I haven't played too many GBA games, but I think it's decent.
Okay. Decent question mark. Oh, I like that. I actually think that this could be pretty dang fun, like, just trying to speed through it, because, oh my gosh. I saw when you were in the tomb and you got hit down one of the shafts and just sort of pinballed around the walls as you were falling. That was hilarious.
That was
oh, poor Buffy. Have you seen any Buffy, by the way?
No, I just know she plays vampires with, like, machine guns and stuff or something.
Okay,
like,
I mean,
I heard, like, so, like, back in the day, vampires were hard to kill, but now you can just use a gun.
She didn't use
or
guns.
Something like that.
No, I mean, she did use a rocket launcher once, but, you know, that was against a guy who claimed that he was immortal, and then she whipped that out and, well, proved him otherwise. Season 1 Buffy, just absolutely amazing. But no, she was very much a stake type of person, stake through the heart. There were plenty of demons in Buffy, though, and some of them were vulnerable to machine guns, and that's why Riley, the dude who showed up in some of those caverns, would, like, throw a machine gun at you. He's like, here, have a gun. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed her with a flamethrower. Might be usable.
Yeah, and there was some kind of electric gun, too. I don't really know.
There's a laser rifle. You have to hold down the button, which took me up the first time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like,
so sort of a charge
everything.
and fire. Gotcha. Clades in chat is asking, can someone please explain the barrel? I was so confused as to what happened.
Barrel?
I don't recall a barrel. What was with the barrel falling and making two heads explode? Oh, Clades, that is a reference to an episode in Buffy the Vampire Slayer called Hush. And I don't want to spoil the episode. You should definitely go and watch it, though, because in essence, the enemies in that episode steal people's voices. And after crushing the box, Buffy was able to scream, making the enemies' heads explode. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lore reason.
Yeah,
but
because
I like it
lore.
a lot better. I like it a lot better when it's just, like, out of context. You just drop a barrel behind a guy and then two people's heads explode for no reason.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, it's because you'd have to like watch Buffy in order to understand how that fight works.
That's how
watch
I
that episode.
experienced
Watch
the
that
fight.
episode.
That's how I experienced the fight, is I pushed a barrel down off of a ledge, and then the bosses exploded, and I was like, cool, I did it.
Yeah, sure.
That's
yeah, that's what happened to me.
If I can get one person who is watching this stream to go and watch the episode Hush from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I will have done my job today, and I will consider it a success. Because Joss Whedon, totally a butt, but that episode is so good, okay? Watch it for Sarah Michelle Gellar. Watch it for all of the wonderful actors in that episode. And watch it for heads exploding. Yeah, anyways, highly recommended. Go watch the episode Hush from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The end. That is my message to everybody today. With that said, like, we believe that you took first. We believe that Clades was in second and that Muir is in third. We may need to go and do like one last review just to make sure, but that's what it looks like. And because of that, Someone3255 is moving on. Clades will probably be going to a tiebreaker. Yeah. But yeah, just feel happy that you're able to relax a little bit, that you've secured your spot there.
Definitely.
With that said, are you doing anything else stream-wise, someone?
I'm in Mystery Tournament too, and other than that, not much.
Yay! I won one match and I lost another match. I've got another one on Wednesday, and we'll see how that goes. I have no idea. Thanks. Good luck to you too. Actually, how have you done so far?
I've won every match so far. So feeling pretty good.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at this. Someone over here just destroying.
Didn't you win Mystery Tournament last year?
No, I got second last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember you were in the final. I didn't remember if you won or not. Congrats on that, though.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, we'll see how you do.
I didn't expect to get too far in top 8, but after winning my first match, I got pretty far. So glad for that. Hopefully I go far in both of these tournaments.
Yeah, it's strange, the type of skill that you have to have in order to do well, and I do think that it's a learnable skill, that there are people who have been playing for a while who are just getting, like, a little bit more progress every year. There's some people who, like, join mostly for fun and aren't necessarily, getting better each time, but, you know, that's fine. We're here for everybody. We want to have fun.
It's always a good time playing some games.
Heck yeah, video games. Even if they're not exactly the highest quality there. Well, everybody, we will be back with one more match tomorrow. I believe it's 2 p.m. Check the schedule, ! Schedule. In chat, you can see that here. You can type the same command over in Discord, and it will pop up for you. Other than that, I probably will stream something else. For now, we're going to raid Peace Egg. And, do we have a good raid message?
I don't know that there was a good one from Buffy.
Like, there are a lot of good lines from Buffy, but, unfortunately, from the match, no.
Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, I got nothing. I skipped most of the cutscenes.
Let's just say, be very, very quiet. I'm hunting ghosts. There, be very, very quiet. Because that's what Peaceegg is doing. He's hunting the ghosts.
That worked.
Okay, there we go. Everybody, I'll see you all for those who show up tomorrow at 2 p.m. with Kusog7ande and then something else. Bye! Have fun! Sorry I talked about werewolves. Bye! Okay, I think that we're offline.